What's up, gang? Hope you all had a great weekend. I hope you're ready for a great weekend of football. So, got a couple pieces of Giants news. They made a few roster moves before they play the Jets today at MetLife. The Giants are the home team, but I wanted to get this out to you before I give you my Week 8 picks and previews and stuff like that. So, by the way, if you're a football fan, you happen to be a Giants fan or a Jets fan or a Bills fan, doesn't matter who your team is. You just want good old football talk, especially leading into the trade deadline, which is Tuesday, and you want to know everything that's up to speed, everything that happens right away. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. And if you do hit the subscribe button, I ask you to hit the notification bell as well. That'll not only make sure that you get the information, but you'll be one of the first to get it. So I thank you for both, really. Now, the Giants made a couple moves, okay? They're playing the Jets. They're the home team. They have, I have it right here. Okay, here we go. They've signed a punt returner slash receiver Gunnar Oslewski from the practice squad. They brought him up to, I think, 3-man roster. He's actually replacing Gary Brightwell, who's a running back who had a hamstring problem. He's put on the injured reserve. So that's one of the moves that they made. Okay, and he was actually with the Steelers for about a year. Oslewski's still switching teams here, and he's about 5'10", 180 pounds, an athletic player, but adds a little versatility to the Giants roster. They also elevated quarterback Tommy DeVito and outside linebacker O'Shane Jimenez. If I'm not Jimenez, it starts with an X. So I apologize if I don't pronounce it right. From the practice squad. And this is the second or third time that they've done that too this year. So DeVito's gonna serve as a backup of Tyrod Taylor. They're looking at probably a Week 10 return for Daniel Jones right now. So they're gonna have to go with Taylor and whoever's backing him up, which in this case is DeVito. So hopefully they'll be able to get to that. But they need their offensive line to protect these quarterbacks, no matter who they are. So, a few roster moves, and what the likeliness that they beat the Jets today, I don't know. Well, let's get to the previews, okay? But those are the moves that the Giants made right now. Let's start the Week 8 pick and previews, okay? Now, Los Angeles Rams are in Dallas to play the Cowboys. Dallas is actually a 7.5-point favorite. The over-under on that is 45.5 points. Dallas has been kind of having some spotty moments lately, but I do pick them to beat the Rams today in this game. So then we got Minnesota is in Green Bay. Vikings are playing the Packers. Minnesota is a 1-point favorite. The over-under on this is 41.5 points. I am actually going to go with Minnesota too. Kirk Cousins is kind of doing his thing right now, so I picked the Vikings. Atlanta Falcons are in Tennessee to face the Titans. Now, there was speculation that they were going to move Derrick Henry in a trade at the trade deadline, which is Tuesday, but now we're hearing the opposite. So we don't know. Unless something happens last minute, there's a good chance that Derrick Henry might stay with the Titans. But Atlanta's a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under on this is 35 points. I'm actually going with Tennessee on this. So New Orleans Saints are in Indiana to face the Colts. New Orleans is a 1.5-point favorite. The over-under in this game is 43.5 points. I'm going with the New Orleans Saints here. New England Patriots are facing the Miami Dolphins. Miami's actually an 8.5-point favorite. This is the first time that I've seen in a while that the Patriots have been underdogs for several games this season. Like, it's a crazy thing. And after almost 2 decades of dominance, they're kind of on the flip side right now, and they're kind of working their way towards reshuffling and finding their new identity. But Miami's an 8.5-point favorite. The over-under on this is 47. I am taking the Dolphins to win. So, and then here we go. Jets versus the Giants. The Jets are actually a 3-point favorite in this. The over-under in this is 35.5 points. And I'm actually going to pick the Giants to win this. I think they got a chip on their shoulder. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to go on the over on this one too. I'm hoping that the Jets win because I'm a Jets fan, but I have a feeling the Giants are going to wind up pulling this off, and then it's going to lead to the Jets winning a couple more games after that too. So I'm going with the Giants. Okay. Then the Jacksonville Jaguars are in Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. The Jags are a 1.5-point favorite. The over-under on this is 41 points. I'm going with the Jags. Philadelphia, the Eagles are in Washington to play the Commanders. Eagles are a 7-point favorite. Over-under on this is 43.5 points, and I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles on this one too. The Giants surprisingly beat the Commanders last time out. I'm going with the next the NFC team beating them too. So, in the Eagles. Next up, the Houston Texans are in Carolina to play the Panthers. Houston's a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under on this is 43.5 points. I'm actually going with Carolina in this one. I do think Carolina's going to pull this off. Next up, Cleveland Browns are in Seattle to face the Seahawks. Seattle's a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under on this is 37.5 points. Cleveland coming off a huge win over the 49ers, which is a big one the last time they played. And well, at least against the 49ers. But I'm taking Seattle to take this game too. Kansas City Chiefs are in Denver to play the Broncos. Kansas City's a 7-point favorite. The over-under on this is 43.5 points. It's no surprise I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs here. Denver still hasn't found its way with Russell Wilson, and I still think they need to do that. The Baltimore Ravens are in Arizona to face the Cardinals. The Ravens are 9.5-point favorites. The over-under on this is 44.5 points. I'm going with the Ravens here, too. The Ravens are just too strong and too dangerous. Last set of games, the Cincinnati Bengals are in San Francisco to play the Niners. Cincinnati's actually a 5.5-point favorite on this one. The over-under on this 43.5 points. I'm actually going to go with the 49ers here. Chicago Bears are in LA to face the Chargers. The Chargers are 8.5-point favorites. The over-under on is 46.5 points, the highest over-under of the week. And I'm going with the Chargers to take this game. Last up, the Las Vegas Raiders are in Detroit to face the Lions. The Lions are 7.5-point favorites. The over-under is 46, and I'm actually going with the Detroit Lions. So those are the previews and the picks. Those are the roster moves that the Giants made. A couple of them. And I do think it's going to be a pretty exciting game no matter what. I'm looking forward to watching it starting in a little bit. So enjoy your football weekend. Have a great time. And I'll talk to y'all